Joining us now is civil rights attorney Leo Terrell, a Fox News contributor. Leo, let's set this up. Here's what Bass said 5 months ago at a debate about safety in Los Angeles. Listen here.
Do you feel safe walking in Los
I do
Angeles?
feel safe. I would say a 10. I feel safe, but I do understand that a lot of people around the city do not feel safe, and I respect that.
And now here is what she is saying.
Angelenos all around the city are not feeling safe, and I did feel safe until my safety was shattered, like so many Angelenos.
You know, when I heard that, I'm thinking, you know, it's easy for politicians to impose their views on people, but it's quite a different thing when they walk a mile in those folks' shoes, Lee.
Thank you, John, for having me. What a very disingenuous statement. Has Karen Bass' eyes been closed and ears shut for the last 3 years? She lives in Los Angeles. I mean, there is crime every day in Los Angeles. And it's so disingenuous for her to say, now it's important to you because it's important to me. It affected me. It's a very disingenuous statement. And I'll tell you this, John, this is a congresswoman who supports defunding the police, who supports Antifa, Black Lives Matter, who support George Gascon, a progressive soft-on-crime criminal. And so for her to say that now, 60 days before the midterm, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And I think it's an insult to those Angelenos who have been victims for the last 3 years. By the way, if she doesn't know, there was a riot 3 years ago, and now there's just smash and grab every day in this city.
Yeah, you called George Gascon a progressive soft-on-crime criminal. I think you probably meant to say district attorney, and we'll get to that in just a second, her view of George Gascon. But she is leading in the polls, and if the polls hold true come Election Day, she may very well be the next mayor of Los Angeles. And so you have to wonder, how will this revelation, how will this come to Jesus moment for her play out should she become the mayor? Here is what she said about safety in the city if she becomes mayor. Listen here.
The number one job of the mayor is to make sure that Angelenos are safe. And in many neighborhoods, people don't feel safe. They would like to see an increased presence of police officers.
So that's a similar message that to the one that Eric Adams gave when he was running for mayor of New York. And when he was elected, he fell short, and he's been playing catch-up ever since.
Eric Adams is way short. He does a lot of talking and no action. So he's a poor example. I'll tell you right now, John, here's the sad news. Karen Bass is probably going to win the city mayor's race. Why? Los Angeles is a very socially progressive city. So her words have no meaning. I want to be clear. There's no history. She doesn't have any history of supporting law enforcement. She has no history of being tough on crime. She has no history. You can't find video of that. So these are just talking points because the election is around the corner. And again, Angelenos don't buy it. Again, the sad part about it, I live in Los Angeles. And the sad news is she's going to win.
All right, now to the issue of George Gascon, because he is in a recall fight right now as people try to get enough signatures to recall him, as they did Chesa Boudin in San Francisco. We don't know if that campaign is going to be successful or not. But here's what she said about George Gascon and the efforts to oust him. Listen here.
If you're going to recall somebody, it should be because they have done some egregious ethics issue or violated the law. It's very important to have criminal justice reform. If you want to change an elected official, pressure them to change. There is an election that will happen in a few years, and he is beginning to change somewhat.
He is beginning to change somewhat. I mean, it sounded like, I don't want to say she was giving him the benefit of the doubt, but saying that recall is not the right thing to do. What do you say?
Well, let me just simply say this. I'll say it. She's giving him the benefit of the doubt. She is a supporter of George Gascon. People need to know this. Karen Bass is not going to do anything in this city to stop crime because she believes in the progressive agenda, which means defund the police. I want to be as clear as possible. Karen Bass is not a friend to law enforcement. She is a friend to those who want to change the criminal justice system where criminals are allowed to walk 24 hours after they commit a crime.
So what's going to happen in Los Angeles unless something is done to get a handle on crime?
Oh, thank you for that question. Terror, continuation of crime. I'm just going to be honest. I live here. My head is on a swivel, John, when I walk out in the morning because I have to look left, right because the people who are criminals walking the street. I mean, it is horrible here to live in Los Angeles because there is no support for law enforcement. If anyone says anything different, they're lying to the people who live in this city. It was a great city, and from the city of LA up into the state of Sacramento, the California Democratic Party is soft on crime.
And unfortunately, the experience in Los Angeles when it comes to crime and your head being on a swivel, that's repeated in cities and towns all across America. Leo, thanks so much. Good to see you this Monday.
And they happen to be Democratic cities.
Yeah. Good to see you, Leo. See you again soon. Thanks.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.